I want to start off by saying Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahawashi, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahawashi, Call Halal Yahweh Ba Hashem Yahawashi, Call Halal Yahweh Ba Hashem Yahawashi, Ba Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone that told me this doctrine in truth and sincerity. Shalom to elect. The Heavenly Father's name is Yahweh, which means He is or He exists. Ba Hashem in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world even calls Jesus Christ. We know His name to be Yahawashi, which means He is the Savior. He is the deliverer for the Hebrew Israelites from the pedigree of your father. Ba Hashem in the name of the Ruach HaKodesh, which means the Holy Spirit, that is able to give us the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of who we are, which are the Hebrew Israelites, princes of the power, Yasha Allah, sons of the promise, and to be able to know who our adversary is, which is Esau Edom. Esau means wasted away he is, and they are the biblical Edomites, Idumeans, okay, the modern day Assyrian, the modern day Chaldean. They are the wicked that it speaks about in the scriptures that would have the fatness of the earth, and they would control it with the great sword. And that's what you're seeing on display. You know, and that sword comes with many different variations. It comes in the form of, the physical sword, which is their military system that they have in over, 80 countries, pushing forth their democracy. Okay, dividing up the families, and anybody that doesn't comply to their demands, it's a get down or lay down mentality. And then they'll put someone in there that's able to, able to carry out their, basically a puppet, to be able to carry out their evil, wicked devices, their evil, wicked schemes. And that's what you see over there in Ukraine. You know, this dude is a small hatter. This dude is a transformer. Okay, this dude is an actor. Okay, and he's a cultic personality. But also what you have over there is you have them bringing forth the cryptocurrency. Okay, the first place that just have the digital currency to basically all these other heathen nations are trying to take away from that fiat currency, which is also part of the Great Reset with Klaus Schwab, where he said you will own nothing and be happy. Okay, where they're bringing in all the cyborgs, the computer systems, transhumanism, taking away any far as the jobs for, humans to bring in their own technology, because ultimately they want everyone linked in through the Karagma, okay, which is their technology linked into you. And then they can be able to track your every move. The same thing they do with the phones. Okay, that's why they took away the battery that was separate, from your cell phone. So it can be able to be, you can't take it out or anything, so they can be able to watch your every move. I think it's like every 20 seconds they take pictures of you. Now they're starting to have the transcripts of brothers, speaking the Amath, which is the truth. Okay? So all this is given to us by Yahweh Hashem Yahawashi. He has given us the wisdom to be able to know what to do, and we're supposed to seek him while he is nigh. Because again, we went off falling after false gods, false idols, not rehearsing the righteous acts, not following the law, statute, commandments that was given to us by our forefathers. And that's why we were put in captivity. That's why we're still in captivity. But through Yahawashi being that perfect Lamb, we have a comforter now. We have a more sure word of what prophecy. Prophecy is the testimony of our Lord Yahawashi HaMashiach. Prophecy means to what? Forecast. Forecast what's going to happen. And starting with the apostles and the elders on down that have been in this truth, they've been speaking about the Karagma, which again is a graven image in your forehead and your hand, to have them. And it's something that's physical. It's not a white woman. It's not an embargo. It's not Christianity. It's something that's physical. That's going to take away from you being able to buy certain things if you don't have it. Okay, and this is these are the preludes to that. To that great reset that they're trying to do, which is, they start with order out of chaos, order out of chaos in the Latin, which is they did with this this thing that came out a couple of years ago. And then now that's created where they're able to come closer to what their true agenda is. The 2030 agenda is to have a one world currency, okay, killing the fiat dollar, bringing in the central banking digital currency, ultimately to bring in the Karagma, okay, so they can be able to control your every move. And what do? They knocked out the middle class, bringing in the poor and the rich, and that's going to create civil wars. Matthew 24 and about 6. you're going to have these wars and rumors of wars. First of all, you have them with the kingdoms. You have it with Russia, the bear, that old USSR spirit, the Medes. Okay, then you have the Moabites over there, which is the Chinese. You have them, wanting to get at Babylon the Great. Okay, Babylon goes back to Babel, which goes back to confusion. And Amar, or it's like America goes back to Amar, okay, which goes back to bitter. And we're in a bitter, confused state when they're constantly trying to be able to control it. They're basically what they're trying to, they have a God complex. Esau Edom has a God complex. They are the self-proclaimed white man, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Oppenheimers, the DuPonts, the Kennedys. They're the ones that are pulling the strings of Joe Butthead, Zelensky, Putin. They're the ones that are actually pulling the strings on these demons to be able to, um, push forth their New World Order. But we know that Yahweh Shemar Shai is the true one that's actually pulling the cords. Okay, the creator. That's why it says in Ecclesiastes 10 and 11, why is ashes so proud? Why is the flesh so proud? But again, he created one to honor and one to dishonor. And Lord willing, we're on that. Part of the tabernacle of David is the one to honor. Honor who? Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Because Yahweh sent his son, Yahweh Shai, to be able to, ultimately save all Israel. But right now, he's only dealing with the remnant elect. Those are the only ones that are going to have the eye salve. So I want to go into this lesson. It says Ukraine legalizes crypto sector as digital currency. Donations continue to pour in. Ukraine has passed a law that creates legal framework for the cryptocurrency industry and country. The law allows foreign and Ukrainian cryptocurrencies exchanges to operate legally, according to the country's Ministry of Digital Transformation. So, again, this has been going on for about what? I think it's like, going on almost a month, probably like 20, 25 days or something like that, as far as the war over there, right? But a lot of things have came out, as far as the Ukrainian people were actually the ones shooting at the actual citizens, and then they would put on Russian uniforms. Okay. Also, they have where these warmongers. Okay, warmongers means that they're selling out weapons. Okay, at a mass, point, and they're making a lot of money over there. Plus, you have Joe Butthead. He threw out $3 billion over there. He threw out $3 billion over there when we're in an economic crisis. He just threw $3 billion over there. Plus, we know on the back end they have the bioweapons that they've been pushing in Ukraine. Okay, which is they have them over here, and they're going to start unleashing some of those. That's why it's going to be a time of Jacob's trouble. There's going to be sedition amongst people. People are going to start to bug out. They're going to turn up that 5G and 6G towers. Okay, it says Ukrainian's president Volodymyr Zelensky has signed the law as Russia's war on Ukraine continues, underscoring the important role that cryptocurrencies have taken on during the conflict. So while they were stirring up this war, okay, they were actually on the left hand. What were they doing? They're bringing in this cryptocurrency, which is ultimately to bring in the digital Sakia, ultimately to bring in the Karagma. So I want to get a scripture for that. Yeah, I'll just start right here. This Isaiah 5 and 20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. So when they're putting on this cryptocurrency, they're acting like, hey, it's easier to do. You know what I mean? But really, they're ultimately tracking your every move. And that basically takes out if you were, working under the table or anything like that, you're not going to be able to what? Revelation 13 and 16, you're not going to be able to buy or sell. Okay, and how are they doing that? They're doing that by their unrighteous decrees, because they said that it's a law that they're passing over there in Ukraine, and this vibration is going to come over here. Okay, because again, Joe Butthead is controlled by the elites, and the elites are putting money over there and Ukraine for a reason, because they want to be able to dominate Russia, even though they're both Edomites. Okay, Satan, again against Satan. How can they be able to survive? Again, they're not going to survive. That's prophecy. Okay, and no one wants them to survive. No one in their right mind. Especially the elect, right? Isaiah 10:1. Woe, which means destruction unto them that decree, right? Decree is a law, unrighteous decrees. Yeah, so unrighteous laws, and right grievousness, which they have prescribed. So again, they're writing them down through their legislation, okay, through that eagle, the Democrat and the Republican, and that goes back to Rome, the plebeian and the patrician. It's no different, and they are what? That proud eagle. That's why you always see Joe Budhead in the back of everything that he says. He sees that you see that eagle in the back, showing you who they are, referring to Obadiah, right? Also in Deuteronomy. Okay, they write grievousness, so they issue out. Let me just get that real quick, because this is exactly what they're doing in Ukraine, and this is going to happen over here in Babylon the Great. Yeah, so the Hebrew 5999 showing you, you know what I mean? You shall know him by his name. Okay, by that, Slaki, by that number. Toil, trouble, labor, trouble, mischief. Okay? See if it has anything in the root word. To labor, to toil, to labor. Yeah, so they're constantly laboring to be able to do this. They have the think tanks. They have the United Nations General Assembly, the Bohemian Grove. They have things that, people don't even know about. Okay, and they're grievously doing this, and they have prescribed them. They have write them through their legislation to write, to record, enroll, to write, inscribe, engrave, right? To be written down and be recorded. So again, they're written down in the legislation, and they can just like they've done in Babylon the Great, they've made laws that were, maybe 10, 20 years ago, maybe even 50, 60 years ago, and they can be able to bring it out. They have legislation where they can lock down on the highways. They can control the food sources, okay? Because if you control the person's food, you control the people. And that's how they're going to get a lot of people to bow down to this image. That's why it's important not to, trust in your woman. You have to, with your kids, you have to pray for them. But at the same time, you got to realize that eventually those people might turn on you, okay? Because, again, they're going to have incentives. They're going to want to eat, and certain people are not going to believe. They're not going to believe in Yahweh Shem Rashai that he's going to be able to save us, that his servants shall eat. Okay? So I want to get this real quick, because this is Isaiah 10:5. It says, actually, I want to get, right here, 13. No, let's see. No, it's okay. Actually, let me see. No, it's okay. So I'll go back into the through the legislation, and also let me get this. Daniel's 2:20. Actually, no, it's actually see, Slakia. Bear with me. No, that's the times and seasons. It's actually Daniel. See, Daniel 8:25. Because again, the one kingdom is going to be translated to another. Why? Because they're trying to they imagine a vain thing. I'm going to bring that out to Psalms 2. Okay. Daniel 8:25, and through his policy he also shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart. Yeah, so his mind, his lahab, he's magnifying himself, he's boasting. And those that exalt themselves shall be abased, and those that humble themselves shall be exalted. Right? That's why it's so important to be meek and lowly. He shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. So again, stand up against the prince, right? A prince of princes when it says a P. So Yahawashi, Okay, that's why they have the SpaceX 6. These other heathen nations, they're going to be fighting each other, but then they're going to try to come against the men of the Lord, or the chariots. Okay, Daniel's 12:1, right? But through his policy, he's magnifying these. He's making these things known, that what he wants, these unrighteous decrees, these draconian measures, right? And that's going to create a uproar in the people. That's going to create a tumult. So I want to go back to this article. It says Ukraine has passed a law that creates a legal framework for cryptocurrency industry, the country. It says the bill, which is adopted by Ukraine's parliament last month and signed into law by President Vladimir Zelensky on Wednesday, will allow foreign and Ukraine cryptocurrencies exchanges to operate legally, according to country's Ministry of Digital Transformation. Banks will be allowed to open accounts for cryptocurrency. So crypto means hidden away. So you can't actually know where your account, the true value is gold and silver. Okay. And when you can't be able to touch it, it can be able to go away. And that's how you're going to create a lot of people that are going to be upset. Okay. Then you have Saudi Arabia. What are they doing? They're taking yuans, which is the Chinese currency, and for oil. Okay. And then Russia has their own currency, which is the ruble. Okay, so what are they all doing? All these heathen nations are consulting together, okay, to come against Babylon the Great, as it says in Revelation 17:16, that they shall come against this whore that sits upon the beast. It says Ukraine has legalized crypto sector, signed a law. From now on, foreign and Ukraine cryptocurrencies exchanges will operate legally, and banks will open accounts for crypto companies. It's important to step towards the development of VA market. Okay, so yeah, and this is what they're doing. It says the virtual assets law determines the legal status, clarification, and ownership of virtual assets. And that's why they also have these hacks. Okay, you're seeing these cyber attacks. So when they hit these certain accounts, they're going to say, hey, we have something better for you. We can be able to give you the charagma, which is a graven image in your forehead or in your hand, and you can be able to track it better. Okay, again, order out of chaos, order out of chaos. It says Ukraine's National Security Stock Market Commission will regulate, and they're making billions. They're making, maybe even trillions of dollars off this so-called war, because they're painting this picture that Ukraine is good people when they're not. Okay, they're not at all. Okay, they've done underhand deals, and they're ran by a mob mentality. Okay. And so they're, the Western civilization, the media is another one of Esau's swords, that he's able to control the masses. Mass means death. Okay, control the masses into death, sending money. You had a Jake over here in Babylon the Great he said he's going to go over there and fight for Ukraine, but he won't fight for his own people over here. Okay, was showing you that only the elect is going to be able to, the Romans 11:7, the elect has obtained it, and the rest were blinded. Roughly paraphrasing, they just don't see it. They want to stand up for Esau, Edom. Again, that goes back to Stockholm syndrome. Okay, where you loved your master so much, you'll mock and scoff the men of the Lord because you see them as unlearned men, but then you'll go trust in Esau, Edom, and it tells you in Sirach 12:10, never trust thine enemy, for like iron is rusted, so is his wickedness, and at last he will declare. Okay, declare what? His wickedness. Okay, Sirach 14:10. If he doeth good, he doeth unwillingly. At last he will declare his wickedness. Roughly paraphrasing Sirach 10:10. But the point is being made that to not trust this devil, because he's not gonna. If he doesn't do right to himself, why would he do right to you? He puts chemtrails in the air. Okay, he puts fluoride in the water, GMO foods. He's constantly digging in the earth when the earth is beautiful. There's still beautiful yapa, which means beautiful, right? Places on the earth that haven't even been touched. But Esau Edom is constantly digging, constantly doing wickedness, and it has reached the heavens, and that's why this place is going to destroy it. And how do we know that? Because the mysteries are given to the prophets. Okay, Amos 3:7. Right? And how do we know this? By measuring the time diligently, looking at the scriptures and seeing what point that we're at. And that's all through the Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, right? It says last month, Ukraine began accepting donations towards its military defense against Russia via digital currencies like Bitcoin and Ether. It has since expanded the number of cryptocurrencies that accepts for donations has raised over $63 million. So imagine if in the ghettos, vadios, okay, in the reservations, that there was $63 million put into the neighborhoods. Okay, as far as to build back the neighborhood, really build back better to make this nation a good nation. First, you have to start, first of all, with knowing who you are. But just say in a worldly sense, okay, $63 million. Okay, here, man, don't sell drugs. Hey, don't do this. Don't, you know what I mean? Certain things. But what do? They send money over to Ukraine, and what are they doing over here in Babylon the Great? They're letting those refugees from Ukraine, which are a lot of them are Edomites, come over here, and for 3 years they're safe, and they're basically going to be able to they're going to be able to set up businesses over here. Okay. Meanwhile, Jake is still with their pants hanging off their ass, talking about what's up, Wody, Jay-Z's the best, still talking about Biggie and Tupac, just stupid dumb shit that doesn't make no sense. They don't know what's going on, and they don't see the death and destruction. Okay, look at all this money they're pouring over there. They're doing it for a reason. Okay, 63 million. Okay, early this, and I'm going to get into another article where it says they sent even more. It says earlier this week, Ukraine's, and they've been in Babylon the Great has been sending money over there to Ukraine. Earlier this week, Ukraine's government launched an official website where people around the world can donate via cryptocurrencies the money. And what did that Zelensky dude? What did he say? He said, when you think about I Have a Dream, which we know Martin Luther King was a raving homosexual, okay? He said that, and he was connected to elites. He said that when you think of I Have a Dream, you should think of I Need Help. What kind of warrior is that? You on national TV asking for help, okay? Asking for help from Esau, from Babylon the Great. You don't think that he would go in private he would go in private and ask these other nations and consult together. He's going to go on national TV and shows he's an actor. And if you look up the brother Children of Israel, I think over there in UK, he put up the video of Zelensky, doing basically doing the Margarina in a Transformer outfit, slapping another dude's ass. Okay, it shows you the type of people, and we know he's a small hatter. Okay. This shit is all, we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. Lest Satan should get an advantage, we are not ignorant. Okay. It says a global regulatory push. Ukraine's cryptocurrency laws come from as countries around the world asks to regulate industry often in diverging ways. El Salvador, for example, has made Bitcoin legal currency and sought to make a counter hub for crypto activity. China, on the other hand, has looked to wipe out trading cryptocurrency mining. Okay, this month, U.S. President Joe Biden signed an executive order calling on federal agencies to take a unified approach to regulation oversight of digital assets. The executive order is not a piece of legislation and to regulate the cryptocurrency industry. It says in several countries where there is not a specific cryptocurrency regulation like Ukraine, governments have sought to bring exchanges and other digital assets company under the purview of financial regulators. For example, in the UK, cryptocurrency exchanges must register a financial conduct authority and are subject to existing rules around the money. So again, they can't track none of the money. Okay, so when you lose it, you just lose it. Okay, no physical assets. In comparison, Ukraine's approach seeks to build law specifically tailored to the digital asset industry, which is what Klaus Schwab, the Great Reset. Okay. And what they created with that dude is a Zelensky, that the president of Ukraine, is a cult of personality. It says a cult of personality, a cult leader, is a result or effort made by a government to create by a government. And what does government mean? Government means mind control. To create an idealized, heroic image of leader, often through unquestioning flattery and praise. It historically has developed through techniques of mass media Propaganda. So mass means death. Media goes back to witchcraft and sorcery. Again, another one of their swords. Propaganda. Let's just get that word real quick. Propaganda is a communication that's primarily used to influence or persuade an audience to further an agenda. So what is their agenda? The New World Order. What is their main agenda? The Charagma. Okay? And they're having this cult of personality to push forth this energy. They're even putting them back on Zulu. Okay, no one knew this guy's name before this shit happened. They're putting him on Zulu, Netflix, making him, he's such a warrior. Then they got the other bitch out there. She got the gun. She looks like a straight transformer. She got the gun talking about we gonna fight. You know what I mean? She ain't fighting out there. She ain't going out there. But she wants to push forth this energy for this women. Like when the women are out there in war, they're gonna get ravaged and raped. That's how it's gonna go. Okay, they're not men. They're not able. They don't have the same parts far as to be able to deal with war. Okay, when there was a guy, Patrick Lancaster, which is on YouTube, and he was filming Ukraine, and you saw the women crying, and the men were just basically like, "Yo, this is war." Okay, it says an agenda. Let's get what agenda is. A political agenda. In politics, a political agenda is a list of subjects or problems to which a government officials, as well as individuals outside the government, are paying serious attention to at a given time. Why? Because they have something that they want to do. A political agenda is most often shaped by political and policy elites. Okay, so we just read that in Daniel's 8:25. Then we read that in Isaiah 10:1. Let's get what elites are. Elite in a political sociological theory, the elite, or a small group or powerful people who hold disproportionate amount of wealth, privilege, political power. Who owns that? Who owns political power? Esau, Edom, the George Soros, the Gates. They're the ones that's why they have where they can be able to pay these politicians money, unlimited amount of money, and it's legal to be able to push forth their draconian measures through the legislation, even though we know it's already set up. So this perpetuate amount of wealth. Let me get a scripture real quick, just to show you who actually has that. Okay, and again, I had a bunch of other scriptures that I was going to go into, but I'm just going in the spirit. And that's the best way to go sometimes, every time, is in the spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, okay? So right here, Genesis 27:39, and Isaac, which was Yahushua, if you could receive it, his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and the dew of the heaven. Let me get from 38. And Esau, which is the biblical Edomites, okay, which are those elite, which is a self-proclaimed white man that are running this world, right? I'm going to prove that right here. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing in my father? Bless me, even me also, my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. So again, crying out. And that's what he's doing right here. He's crying out when he's pushing forth that cryptocurrency, ultimately leading to the Charagma, right? So he wept out, Esau wept out, cried, right? And Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, why? Because, again, Jacob supplanted Esau, right? And Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven from above. So again, when you go into this word fatness, yeah, right here. So, this is the Hebrews 49:24. Fatness, okay, fertile place, richly prepared. So, they're in the best places. That's why they have these. They fly on jets. They have their own islands. Okay, they don't even be over. The real elites, they don't even be over here. They be over there in UK and England and stuff like that, in their castles and things like that, doing all sorts of wickedness. Meanwhile, they got the cash cow Babylon the Great pushing forth their agenda. And that vibration is all around the earth. That's why it says prophesy in Mount Seir. Mount Seir is any place that Esau Edom pitches his tent. Okay, so right here it says oil, olive oil. So again, who controls the oil system? You have Babylon the Great because they have the money. Then you have Russia, okay, And then what is China over there? They have which is also, they were ran by Great Britain for a long time. They have the same essentials. They have a communist agenda, okay, and they think that they're next. So they're allies with these with the elites. Okay, so oil, fertile spots and places, yeah. So they have all the best resources, okay, which oil and the best resources goes back to money. Okay, it goes back to the elites that we were reading about, right? Genesis 27:40, and by the sword thou shalt live, and thou shalt serve thy brother. And that happened with King David, right? And then, after, at the end, right, they were able to get loose, okay? It says, come to pass when thou shalt have dominion, thou shalt break the yoke off his neck. So again, and that came, the form after King David, and then also in the Renaissance era, okay, when that deadly wound was healed, and about the mid 1300s, they were estranged from the wound, telling lies. They started with covering the faces of the judges with iconoclasm, bringing forth their Christianity, their Roman Catholicism, which is part of the beast system, okay. And it says they will have a great sword, and that great sword is them being able to control the money system. So going back to it, the article. See, yeah. So the elite, it says a disproportionate amount of wealth, privilege, political power, or skill in a group defined by Cambridge Dictionary. Okay, the elites. Then they're ones that are pulling the puppet strings of these puppets. Okay, these kings and princes that you see on TV. And again, that's through their political agenda and through propaganda, which is to encourage a particular senseless perception, or using loaded language to produce emotional rather than rational response to information that is being presented. Propaganda can be found in news, journalism, government, advertising, entertainment, education, and activism. When do they do that? They do it through their media. Okay, their television. They push it through their media. That's why they're knocking down RT News, and they're going to start to knock down this word. That's why they have transcripts and things like that. And they're pushing forth Ukraine that they're good people, okay? Which they're not, okay? They're Edomites, right? So again, with that cult of personality, they're flattering him. Hey, look, he's a movie star, but he's also a war hero. He hasn't touched shit. He hasn't hit the field. He hasn't he hasn't been in the streets. You know what I mean? He's not there. Okay. It says right here, the big lie, fake news, spectacle, the arts, patriotism, the government, organized demonstrations, rallies. And what are they doing? People are rallying around, sending money through what? Cryptocurrency. Okay. A cult personality is similar to hypothesis, except that is established by modern social engineering technologies used by a state or party in one party states to dominate a party state's. A cult of personality often accompanies the leader of totalitarian or authoritarian countries. It can also be seen some monarchs or theocracies and failed democracies. So again, everything they do is about a democracy, because democracy creates tyrants. That's why you have Joe Butthead being a tyrant, because everything that he said, he went against. Okay, he said he was a man of the Lord. Okay, and then what did he do? He swore on the biggest Bible, and then he passed all the wicked, the fruitcake agenda. Okay, real quick, this is U.S. and Congress gives final approval to $13.6 billion in Ukraine aid and bill. You throwing money over there. Meanwhile, people were homeless on the streets. You got skid rows everywhere. You got people on fentanyl. You got murder rates at an all-time high. People killing people. Then you got suicide rates at an all-time high. You got them Joe Butthead and douchebag Trump fighting over each other, and all this is to distract you from what they're actually trying to do. Okay. Because this thing is vexing, so if you're in the spirit of, he's talking like this, is how you have to speak when you're speaking about these things, because they are pushing forth the agenda, and and it's rejoicing far as this is a prophecy. But the thing is they think they're going to get away with it, but we have to be patient, patiently endure. Okay, so this was a couple articles that I put together, through the Spirit. It says today the project of Ipo Try My Ka and the Dili application has officially launched. How to get. Okay, so basically what this is speaking about is their new actually I think I already have it right here. This is how they're going to be able to push forth the cryptocurrency. Okay. And so I'm going to get an article actually on that when it's going into it. This is what the DIA means. This is the DIA. It says in Ukraine, the Ministry of Digital Transformation of Ukraine. It says launched in 2020. It says the app allows Ukraine citizens to use digital documents and their smartphones instead of their physical ones. So again, when they take away these smartphones, which they're going to find a way to do, they want you to have it implanted in you. Okay. It says their smartphones instead of physical ones for identification and sharing purposes. The DIA portal allows access to over 50 governmental services. Eventually, the government plans to make all kinds of state-person interactions available through DIA. So again, this goes into he causeth. Okay. DIA has first presented September 27, 2019, a Ministry of Digital Transformation of Ukraine as a brand of showing you that they've been doing this shit. They had this all planned from a long time ago. Let me get a scripture for that. Again, I was gonna go into a whole different scripture. Let me go into, let's see, 36:1. 36:1 says, the transgression of the wicked said within my heart, so within his mind, that there is no fear of Yahweh before his eyes. For he flatter himself in his own eyes until his iniquity be found hateful. And aren't they flattering? And Zelensky, praising him as again as a hero. He hasn't done shit. His whole nation is being destroyed, and they will be put down by Russia. Okay, that's prophecy. Okay, the Iron Curtain will be set back up. Okay, and they will come against Babylon the Great. And these other heathen nations will join in to come against Babylon the Great. That's prophecy. Psalms 36:3. The words of his mouth are iniquity and deceit. He had left off to be wise and to do good. Yeah, so he can't do right. So they're playing him as he's just an actor. He's such a humanitarian. He cares about his people, Ukrainians, but he don't give a fuck. He's set up. He's with the small hatters. Psalms 36:4. He deviseth mischief upon his bed. He set in himself in a way that is not good. He abhorreth not evil. So he doesn't know how to do right. Okay. He doesn't, he makes no attempt, as it says in the NLT, he makes no attempt to be able to turn away from his evil, wicked ways. Because again, Proverbs 21:1, the king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh, as the rivers of water he turneth whatsoever he will. Yeah, he turns them any way that he wants. Just real quick. Because, people like to think, well, God is all good. God is all, he's known as the El Shaddai, which is a demon-like power, right? Also, okay, his ways are not your ways, so you don't know what's right or not. Okay, Isaiah 45:7, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace, I create evil. I, the Lord Yahweh, do all these things. So, again, that form goes into Yahweh being the potter, okay? And then these vessels, right? And that's why it says, why are ashes proud? Because and then it says in Romans 9 and like 20, why is think that the Lord doesn't have power over its clay? Okay, one to honor and one to dishonor. Slakia. So I form. It says to form, to fashion, to frame. So he fashioned Esau Edom. He fashioned Zelensky and Joe Butthead and all these wicked demons and the elites, to be able to do what they're doing. And on the right hand side, he's fashioned the men of the Lord, right? That are given a decree by Yahweh Shai through the Alahayim to be able to, have words to be able to speak. Yeah, to frame, preordain, to be formed. Yeah, so before the womb was already created to what? One to honor and one to dishonor. Yeah, it says potter, purpose. Okay. So going back to it, I want to get actually one more scripture, because again, they advise these in these think tanks. Micah 2:1. Woe unto them that advise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it's in the power of their hand. So again, they're constantly thinking about this, sitting there thinking, it's their Bohemian groves, thinking out how they can do wickedness. And when the light, what do? When they go to their legislation, they go to their governments, and they go to their governments, what do? They prescribe them, they write grievously. And the light, they practice it in the light. Now everyone's able to see what they're doing. Okay? And this is going to create mass deaths because people are going to bow down to whatever they push forth. Okay. See, this is another one. Slocky. Slocky. It says Prime Minister of Ukraine denies Sherman says that the payment of UAH, okay, which is their currency. Let me see. Yeah, which is Ukrainian currency. Okay, as you see in the picture on the right. And then it breaks down to how much it actually is. So $100 at USA is $2,925. Okay, but what are they doing with the money dollar? And these are the different currencies that they have: the Russian ruble, the euro, the renminbi. You got over there in the UK the pound. Okay, the Kazaki tinge, the Danish krone, the Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin's coming in. Okay, this is the Russian one, right? So that's when it speaks about the UAH. It says 65,000 for those who have lost their jobs due to war will begin next week. So again, this is a universal basic income. So, and right here over in Babylon the Great, they're paying the farmers to not even work. Okay, and they have also programs that they put out that are having people, they do a diligent search, Psalm 64 and 5, where they're seeing, how it works. And ultimately, when you're on that string, they're going to pull that hook, and ultimately it's going to get in your mouth. So it's on you, or you're going to have no choice whether, to actually go into their nets. Okay? That's why you don't ever trust this enemy. Don't fall for none of his bait. It says, those that lost their jobs from the war. Okay, again, something that they set up. This is all a smoke screen. Okay, go into that word smoke screen, and you'll have more of an understanding. It says, appeal to the Ukrainians. The war has came as a shock to all of us. Many have lost their jobs, homes, jobs, savings, but remain to defend Ukraine. Today, the state will support you on behalf of the president of Ukraine. The updated. It says the EPID. Let me try to get this. That's what was spoken about in the article. Yeah, so basically that's the system for the universal basic income, but that's in Russian, right? Will start working next week as part of the program. Every employee, every private entrepreneur whose job was taken away by the war will be able to receive UAH 65,000. Okay, but that's in UAH. Okay, so basically, it's about. We just read it. I think it was 26,000 or something like that. So basically, that's like $300 or something, $250, something like that. Okay, for the people that have lost their jobs, it says according to him, the program will work by analogy with payments for that thing that they put out a couple years ago. You can read it for yourself. It's right there. Okay, and so basically, they cause it. They want you to have that, and then what's going to go to the Karagma. The Ministry of Digital Transformation will inform about the details of how to issue assistance, the Prime Minister added. Again, these unrighteous decrees, okay, using that universal basic income to be able to push forth their agenda. It says how to spend. Again, this is a universal basic income. And this is what I want to get one point out of this. It says you have probably already heard about the e-support program, the UAH 1000 that state provides to those those people that got the what? Okay, got that thing that came out a couple years ago, right? So if you got that, you cool. But if you don't, you don't. So again, that goes into he causes. How on what to spend this money, we are happy to offer a simple and quick solution to spend them on health, swimming, sports, and article we tell. Okay. So going down, let's see if as yeah, so it says the algorithm is very simple. You receive funds for e-support card, top a bonus account, and legend. Yeah, everything is simple because only the simple will believe this shit. Okay, you if you're simple, you receive the funds, right? You done did everything Esau told you to do. It says when you are ready to register for the start, you use bonuses and discount. Bonus can be used to pay 100% of the cost of any service. Everything is fair. Okay, yeah, right. Believe us, this is the easy. Yeah, believe us. Yeah, believe in Esau. This is the easiest and best solution to invest in your health. Yeah, so they're helping you with your health. So anytime you want to go when your body what breaks down because of what you did, what happens? They're able to help you. They're able to come right in and hey, we got you. Don't worry about it. Okay. This is step 1. Get a special card. It is support and application for bank of office. It's step 1. Just easy as that. Let's skip down a step through. Make sure you have a green, right? And what does green mean? Flourish, growing. So that's why they put it as a green. Green what? You see it. Number 3. And 3 goes back to understanding. You understand what that is? Okay. Lord willing, you have the understanding. It says, let's see. Yeah, so it's just basically tell you the ways that you can be able to sign up for death. Okay, so let's get this. I'm going to get a couple more scriptures and wrap it up. So we'll see what they're doing, what they're underhandling doing, right? Slakia. It says Psalms 2:1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? So again, who are those heathen? Esau, Edom, and these other heathen nations that are consulted together to hide the hidden ones. Psalms 83. So you go in this word to rage. Okay, the Hebrew 72 and 83. To be in a tumult or a commotion. Okay, let's get this word tumult. Tumult, a loud, confused noise, especially one caused by a large mass of people. Why are people going to be bugging out? Because now they done took that thing that came out a couple of years ago, okay, and now they're going to see, oh damn, I didn't know I had to do all this. They're going to see the side effects, and then that's creating mass death. So uproar. It doesn't a loud or impasse noise or disturbance. So why? Because the people are in confusion or disorder. So again, and what is Babylon the Great known as? Babel, or Slakia. Babylon the Great goes back. Babel. The word Babel, or Babylon Slakia, goes back to Babel, which goes back to confusion, disorder, because there's no order. People are going to be in straight chaos. That's what it's called, order out of chaos. And then Esau, Edom is going to come in with the solution. Okay. And what does that sound like? That sounds like what? 2nd Ezra 9. I think I have it queued up already. Let's see. No, I don't. I'll go into this right here. 2nd Ezra 9. Yeah, it's in 3. I'm going to skip around. It's Slakia. 2nd Ezra 9 and 3. Okay. It says, therefore, when there shall be seen on earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. So again, those tumults are going to be those uproars of the people. And that's so you know that's a sign of the end. Okay. And it says, then you shall well understand that the Most High has spoken of these things from the days before thee, even from the beginning. So again, these scriptures are written over 2,000 years ago. And what's happening? They're being manifest through Yahweh Shem Rashai, supping with the Lord willing, we're of the elect, the pastors of his own heart, to be able to give you warning about what Esau Edom is plotting and scheming. So again, they're raging, which is causing a commotion, causing a tumult, which is going to create uproars of the people, sedition among people. Second Ezra 15:15. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Right? The kings of the earth are set themselves, and rulers take counsel together against Adonai Yahweh, against the anointed, saying, okay, so against those ones that are what? Anointed goes back to separated, that are anointed to what? To be able to have the understanding. The kings of the earth are what? Vladimir Putin, Zelensky, Xi Jinping, Rocket Man, the Morrison, right? The Queen, all these things, they're the kings of the earth. Let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. Okay? It says, what the yeah, that's Esau messing with Psalms 2 and 4. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, and the Lord Yahweh Shai shall have them in derision. Yeah, so Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is going to mock and laugh because they're trying to push forth this agenda, and it's not going to be able to work. And it speaks about that. Psalms 33 and 10. Psalms 33 and 10. The Lord Yahweh bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught. He will make it the devices of the people of none effect. Yeah, so they're not going to be able to carry out their evil, wicked schemes. Okay? They're going to be in derision. Job 5 and 12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty so their hands cannot perform their enterprise. And what is the enterprise? The New World Order. A one world government, one world cryptocurrency, everyone linked into their technology. It says in Job 5 and 12 in the NLT, he frustrates the plans of the schemers. And what are they doing? They're scheming. Let me just look up schemers. So schemer, a person who's involved in making a secret or underhanded plans. That's Esau, Edom to the core. Okay, that's Esau and these other heathen nations. Underhanded plans. Okay, underhanded plans. And what is that? To have everyone, linked in to their technology. Okay, Job 5 and 13. Job 5 and 13, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. Let me read this in the NLT. He traps the wise in their own cleverness. So they are cunning schemers, and isn't Esau Edom a cunning hunter? Schemes are thwarted. Okay? And let's just get that word real quick. Thwarted, to prevent. Thwart, right? To prevent from accomplishing something. And what are they trying to accomplish? Their New World Order. Okay? And it says in Psalms 33 and 10, they will go to naught. Oppose, to plan, attempt, ambition. Okay? They have an ambition to do it. Because again, Yahweh Shemar Shai is he's turning the king's head. So, brothers just got to endure whatever, take everything cheerfully about what's happening. Because all his plans are going to go to naught. Yeah, I ended there. Let me get this one and I brought this out earlier, but I just, because this is what's going to happen. All these schemes and plots, they're going to be able to do this cryptocurrency and things like that, but their ultimate goal, they're not going to be able to do. Psalms 33 and 10, the Lord Yahweh bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught. He maketh the devices of the people of none effect. So they're not going to be able to accomplish the things that they wanted to do. Spirit's telling me to go to this one. Proverbs 28, 11 and 28. Yeah, Proverbs 11 and 28. He that trusts in his riches shall fall, but the righteous shall flourish as a branch. He troubleth his own house shall inherit the wind, and the fool shall be a servant to the wise of heart. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and he that winneth souls is wise. Behold, the righteous shall be recompensed in the earth much more than the wicked and the sinner. Recompense goes back to repay. Okay? It is a righteous thing to recompense your enemies, to repay your enemies. Okay? 1 Thessalonians 1 and 6. right? Let me read this in NLT. If the righteous are rewarded here on earth, what will happen to the wicked sinners? Right? Call halal Yahweh Ba'Shem Rashai Ba'Shem Kakadash Shalom to the elect Kwam Yashala.